Since childhood, we're told that family is the greatest value in life. No amount of wealth is equal to a home in which you are welcome, and only parental unselfish love helps you to endure the most difficult situations. Moscow-born Kristina Ustюрg is only 24, and she has already become mother to 22 children. The last 10 were born less than a year ago and are all about the same age. You may have already been surprised by this fact, but the young mother and her husband are not going to stop, as they dream of 100 children. In general, this story has already become a real sensation, but many people are interested in the banal question, how is it possible? And in general, how does a family live where the number of children is already equal to a whole group of kindergarten? This story began quite recently when 23-year-old Kristina, on vacation in Batumi, met a wealthy hotel owner, 56-year-old Galib Ustюрg. At that time, Kristina was already a single mother. Her daughter's name was Victoria, and she was born when the girl was only 17. But even though Kristina had already had the experience of failed relationships, she did not close herself off, and with a happy smile on her face, spent time on the Black Sea, open to new acquaintances. Most likely, it was this lightheartedness and simplicity that distinguished Kristina from hundreds of other vacationers, because it was her who turned Galib's attention. As for the man himself, at that time he was already a tycoon in real estate and could afford anything except true and pure love. As you know, you can't buy it, even for a lot of money. At first sight, Galib was sure that this was the very woman he had been waiting for all his life. Their first chance meeting was the beginning of this story. For Kristina herself, the man initially became a mentor who showed the local beauty, and in general seemed to her a prince on a white horse, not just another adult lover. In general, their relationship began to develop so quickly that first Kristina and her daughter moved to Batumi, and soon the couple was married. Of course, the wedding was very luxurious, and Galib himself did not begrudge the money for his bride and spent it with pleasure. After which the newlyweds unanimously decided that children are the most important happiness. It cannot be too much. So the couple told their relatives and acquaintances that they were going to have one child a year without revealing their ambitious plans. Although the number of 100 children was already in the air. In the spring of 2020, their firstborn son Mustafa was born, and in the winter of 2021, their daughter Olivia was born. In general, the couple was in seventh heaven, but around the same period, Kristina realized that her reproductive capabilities simply were not enough for the planned number of children, and then at one of the family dinners sounded a more effective suggestion, namely to use the help of surrogate mothers. It's difficult to know what feelings this decision provoked in the couple's inner circle, but Kristina and Galib looked positively on such things, and grand plans did not embarrass any of the partners. So instead of a third child, the family had 10, and all of them were born by different mothers who passed a very strict selection, and mostly they were young and beautiful women who have at least one healthy child. The clinic was responsible for this complex success. The family Ustюрg did not know any of the surrogate mothers personally to avoid problems in the future. In the process, Kristina took care of the health indicators and dietary checkups, but Galib paid a lot of money for these services. Bringing up one baby cost the couple about $29,000, and the total amount of surrogacy was more than $200,000. Of course, this is only the beginning of the investment, as the appearance of at least one child entails considerable expenses, and the couple has already 22 of them. There are 16 nannies taking care of a large number of heirs, and the young mother spends more than $6,000 a week on basic necessities. But as the couple says, the money is just a piece of paper, and nothing compared to such a priceless treasure as children. And indeed, if there is money, it's probably the best way to spend it. All family members live in a large apartment that occupies 3 floors of an apartment building. They have their own elevator, a separate nursery, a kitchen, large rooms for the children to sleep and play in, and Christina's own office, where she makes the children's schedules and menus. Although the number of nannies in the family amounts to the whole staff of a recruitment agency, even so, the young mother tries to spend as much time with the children as possible, since motherhood brings her a lot of pleasure. For example, in this family, all of the children eat only homemade food. Christina always supervises the bedtime reading of books and gives each baby a lot of time. And although the childcare system in the family Ustjorg has worked out perfectly, Christina herself admits that having so many children was more difficult than she imagined. But she has no regrets, because being a mother of so many children is a miracle. Christina's story received a lot of publicity in many major media outlets, but as is often the case, the public reaction was mixed. While the girl's personal blog has almost no haters, individual publications on the internet have gathered many negative comments, which raise Galib's dark past, because at home in Turkey, he was repeatedly accused of money laundering and even imprisoned. But now in Georgia, the man has begun a new life, entirely devoted to his young wife and children. She and Galib are planning their next addition to the family when all the other children go to school. But now they are just happy to have a large family, and certainly no one has the right to judge them. So that's the story. And what do you personally think about the grand plans to have 100 children? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments. That's all for today. Rate the video if you liked it, and see you soon.